You ever had one of those mornings where you wake up thinking today nothing's gonna go wrong and then boom, life just steps on your face? Yeah, that was me the day I tried to move into my new house. Except my new house turned out to be 8 houses. And the street. And well, everything the eye could see in that little cul-de-sac. But let me back up because I promise it gets weirder. So picture this, it's early. I'm hauling a moving truck packed with everything I own, excited for a fresh start. I roll down my street and wham, my driveway is blocked. There's a car parked sideways right across it. And not just any car, Karen's car. Oh, you'll get to know Karen. She's standing there with her arms folded, a couple of residents behind her, looking like they're about to stage a coup d'etat over some patio furniture. She looks me dead in the eye and says, "You can't move in. You haven't paid HOA dues. You haven't submitted your architectural approvals. You're not in compliance." I try to keep my cool, but let's be real. My eye starts twitching. I tell her I own this property. She doesn't even blink. That doesn't matter. Everyone follows the rules here. Here's the part that made me almost laugh out loud. "I don't think you understand," I said. "I own this property. In fact, I own all 8 properties on this street. I bought them at auction 3 weeks ago, including the street. The common areas. It's all mine." I wait for it to register. Karen doesn't miss a beat. "You still need to follow HOA procedures." Then she whips out her phone, starts dialing 911 right in front of me, declaring, "You're trespassing." Ever been accused of trespassing? On your own property? It's a trip. And she's not alone. The other residents are nodding along, ready to back her up completely, sure I'm the villain here. I just stood there thinking, well, this is one hell of a welcome wagon. Let me rewind and explain how I landed in this circus. I've been in real estate 15 years, foreclosures, tax sales, bankruptcies, you name it. The uglier and more tangled, the better for me. But this one man, this was something else. An entire street, 8 houses, private road, utility lines, everything bundled up for auction. The developer went under before selling half the lot, so the bank put the rest, including the street and all the infrastructure, on the block. One cashier's check later, I owned it all. $780,000 for the whole package. I did my homework. Dug into title records, surveys, HOA documents, the whole stack. Here's where it gets spicy. The HOA, led by Karen, thought they owned the street and the common areas. But legally, nope. The developer never transferred ownership. The HOA controlled nothing but their own rules and some egos. The only people who actually owned any land were the individual homeowners, and now me. I tried to play nice. After I closed, I got this very official letter from the HOA, all welcome. Please pay your $450 dues, attend the orientation, and submit your forms. I called Karen to clarify things. She was polite in that special "I run this neighborhood" tone, but when I told her I owned all 8 houses and the land, she flat out denied it. The HOA owns the common areas. It's in our bylaws. I tried to explain ownership isn't the same as management, but she cut me off. Pay your dues or face fines. Then she hung up. So I figured fine. I'd just get started on renovations. Picked the best house for myself, spruced it up, and ignored the threat letters. I mean, the HOA literally had no legal ground to stand on, and I wasn't about to pay them for the privilege of painting my own house. But Karen wasn't done. Come move-in day, I find myself standing in the street staring at her and her self-appointed posse. They blocked me out, called the police, handed me stacks of violation notices, $1,450 in fines for things like unapproved occupancy, failure to submit architectural plans, unpaid HOA dues, and my personal favorite, unauthorized use of the community street, which remember I owned. The cops arrive, 2 officers, one older, one younger. Karen rushes at them, desperate to paint me as the trespasser. Officer Rodriguez. The older one asks me what's going on. I hand over the deeds, the closing docs, everything. He flips through, gives Karen a look, and says, "Ma'am, if he owns the property, you can't stop him from moving in." Karen protests, regulations, fines, procedures, but the officer just shakes his head. "This is a civil matter. Work it out in court." Karen's car was still blocking my driveway, so I ask if they'll help clear it. Officer Rodriguez tells her to move or risk getting towed. She storms off fuming. It was honestly the most satisfying moment I'd had all month. I finish moving in, call my lawyer Marcus, a no-nonsense guy with a dry sense of humor, and lay out everything: the auction, the threats, the cops, the fines. He laughs. "They're finding you for living in your own house. Send me all the documents." I do. And an hour later he calls back. They've got no authority. None. You own everything. The fines are garbage. Send them a formal notice, and if they try anything, we'll hit back. So that's what I did. Send a certified letter to Karen and the board I own it all. The fines are void, interfere again, and I'll sue for harassment and fraudulent claims. She fires back an email, pay, or we'll place a lien on your properties. Marcus says, let her try. 3 days later, she does it, files a lien for $3,500 in back dues and fines with the county clerk. It's now an official cloud on my title. Marcus is ticked. This is a fraudulent lien. She's exposing herself and the HOA to serious damages. We give them one last chance to back off, no dice. So next HOA meeting, Marcus and I show up. Karen tries to block us at the door, threatens to call the police again, but Marcus calmly walks in, laptop under his arm. He pulls up the county records on her TV, points to every deed. Here's what each homeowner owns. Here's what my client owns, which, by the way, is everything outside your lots. The board starts to realize she's been running things on pure confidence. Linda, the treasurer, checks her own deed and goes pale. He's right. My deed only covers my lot. Nothing about the street. Karen refuses to back down. We have established rights. We've managed this community for 5 years, but it's clear the room is shifting. So I make an offer. I'll deed the street and common areas to the HOA for free, plus $5,000 for maintenance. But Karen steps down as president, the fines go away, and we start fresh. Karen flat out refuses, so I say, fine then. Starting next week, I'll charge a parking fee for use of my private street. Don't like it. Use the public road. The next morning, I post no parking signs, set up cameras, and send out notices about the new permit fees. Karen immediately parks right under one of the signs. I give her half an hour, then call the tow company. Her car gets hauled away. She goes ballistic, calls the cops, same officers as before. They side with me again. He owns the street, ma'am. It's a legal tow. Now Karen's got the HOA whipped up for a lawsuit. They hire an attorney, but he bails as soon as he sees the evidence. Next, Karen finds another lawyer who promises to fight for homeowners' rights. They file a suit accusing me of harassment, extortion, even weaponizing property ownership. They want me to give the land to the HOA for free pay damages and erase the parking fees. Marcus countersues fraud, harassment, false lien. Discovery rolls around, and suddenly Linda is sending over all the HOA's financial records. Marcus finds something big. Karen's been funneling HOA money to her own company for management fees, paying herself $2,500 a month for years. Add on $1,500 a month for president compensation. It's tens of thousands of dollars, possibly over $150,000 that she never disclosed. Most of the board had no clue. Now it's all out in the open. We end up in mediation. The judge looks at both sides and says straight up, HOA has no standing. Mr. My Name owns everything. Miss Mitchell, you've got issues with those management fees. The proposed settlement, I deed the street and parks to the HOA. They pay me $15,000 for back use. All fines dropped. Karen resigns. The board votes Karen's out. Linda's in. Karen storms out, threatens to sue everyone. 2 days later, she files for a restraining order against me, claiming I'm harassing her. It gets thrown out, there's no evidence, and even the judge tells her to stop. That's when I get the real kicker. I'm reviewing the leases on the properties, making sure all the paperwork is in order, and surprise, Karen isn't even a homeowner. She's been renting Lot 3 the whole time. Her lease expired months ago. She's $6,600 behind on rent, and now I'm her landlord. All those threats. She was trying to evict her own landlord. I ask Marcus, what do we do? He says, evict her. We send her the notice, pay up or get out in 5 days. She refuses. I file for eviction. She turns it into a social media campaign. Greedy landlord evicting me for standing up to corporate greed. People buy it for a minute. But when the neighbors speak up, sharing the truth, the sympathy dries up. In court, she tries to argue retaliation. The judge doesn't buy it. She didn't pay rent. There's no habitability issue. She has no defense. She gets 10 days to move out. She rallies a protest outside my house, 4 people, 2 signs an hour. She films TikToks from inside the house. When the deadline passes, I get the sheriff to handle the lockout. She leaves crying in her car, but it's done. Now, I wish I could say that was the end, but Karen's not one to go quietly. Suddenly, I start getting code violation complaints, 12 in 3 weeks. All fake names. Inspectors find nothing wrong, but every visit costs me $300 and half a day of lost time. Marcus tracks the IP's library coffee shop, her phone. It's Karen filing everyone. We get a restraining order, sue for damages, and win in court. She ignores the judgment, so we garnish her wages. She blasts Facebook about corrupt courts. The neighbors reply, calling her out. Her support vanishes. Meanwhile, Riverside Oaks finally breathes easy. Linda runs the HOA, right, transparent, fair, no drama. I renovate the houses, sell some, rent others. Property values go up, the story gets around. Karen tries to keep the fight going, complaints to the real estate board, angry posts, but nothing sticks. She's just noise now. I used to think the lesson here was simple. Know what you actually own before you go to war over it. But honestly, it's about power. Some people need to feel in control, even if it means burning down everything around them. They'll cling to it, lie, cheat, fight, just to keep their little fiefdom. The truth has a funny way of coming out, though, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once, but it always does. So, let me ask you, if you'd been in my shoes, would you have fought back or just walked away? When someone uses power like a weapon, where do you draw the line between defending yourself and letting karma handle it? I'd love to hear if you've ever tangled with an HOA or any kind of petty authority and how it played out. Drop your stories below. I know I can't be the only one.